Go to butcherbox.com/weighing in for free bacon and $10 off on your first order right now.
I thought it was a good fight in terms of they both had their game plans. They both came out and tried to execute. I thought Josh Emmett landed the harder, cleaner shots.
No doubt.
He possesses more power, and it was very evident right off the bat when he had caught him a couple first times in that first round. You could see that Kattar was like, "Oh shit, this guy hits hard," and so there was a little bit of reluctancy to actually step in on clean combinations by Kattar. But he ended up coming back. I had it 1-1. I had it 1-1 after the first two.
Yeah.
And then I think by the time we got to the fifth, I think you and I were talking about this. I think I had it 2-2 going into the fifth. It was a close fight. I thought Josh Emmett had a good fifth round, and I think that's how the fight went down. I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit more output, but look, when both guys are real good on the feet and they both know they can turn each other's lights out real quick, and Emmett being 37 years old, he understands he's not getting another chance at a title run. No. This is it. Especially at the lightweights, at the lighter weights like this, at the featherweight division, he's not getting a chance because there's so many other people that are right in that mix. And so that being said, I think he fought a cautious fight. He knew he was leading in some points. And I think in the fifth round, I thought his corner, like you and I are talking about, his corner did him an injustice by saying he was up 3-1.
Yeah.
You got to be cautious about those type of things. And we've said this for the longest time.
You go, that's your guy.
Yeah.
Many times you're thinking that they're winning because you everything they do, you look at it's a little bit better than what the judge is looking at. Everything that their opponent is doing, you're looking and going, oh, that's nothing. But the judge isn't saying that. You can't sit there in a close fight and say, oh, you're up 3-1. Say, hey, you need this last round. It's just the way it is. I'll give it to Emmett. Emmett went out there and he just, he didn't change anything. He didn't do anything different. He was going after Kattar as much as he could. And that's why he ends up winning the fight. But it was close. It was razor close. And it's all a matter of the power of Emmett, I think, had a lot of effect on Kattar at times when he would, come in with some of those rushes, and he would always be putting Kattar in a position he was off balance. That caused him problems at times. But when Kattar was able to control that motion, especially coming forward, he was putting that jab. Josh Emmett had a jab sandwich from Calvin Kattar throughout that fight. Mm-hmm. And the big difference, I think, in the judges' minds, I think they went with the power of Emmett, that it affected Kattar. It seemed a little bit more, but if it had gone to Kattar, I have no problem with it. It going to Emmett, I have no problem with it. I'm being honest when I look and I said, man, he's calling for that championship fight. They may give it to him. How do you think he would do against Volkanovski or Holloway, since those would be the two guys?
I honestly think he needs to get past Max before he fights for the title. But I'm not against him jumping Max.
He might not have to get past.
But I mean,
that.
Max and Volk are going to fight next, and he probably is going to sit and wait. But the problem is he hasn't been very active, because he was dealing with his knee issue. So I think he needs to get another fight somewhere in there. Yeah. It doesn't matter who he fights. I just think one more fight to get him ready for that title shot as Max and Volk fight next. Who's in that mix there? Can you blow that up a little bit more? Because my eyesight is really bad. Volkanovski. So you got Brian Ortega.
You got Brian Ortega, who's fighting Yair Rodriguez coming up. You got Arnold Allen. That's a tough one. Giga Chikadze. Bryce Mitchell. He just
beat Calvin Kattar. He's not going to want to go backwards to Arnold Allen.
No, but he was sitting behind Arnold Allen just as of yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get it. But I mean, like I said, at 37, do you really want to take that chance with somebody who's young and up and coming? That. So if you have Yair and Brian, you got Max, and then just kind of, you know what I would do? I'd probably wait for the dust to settle. Those guys, when are they fighting here in July and August?
Yeah, they're 1 month away.
I think. Yeah, something like that. So when that happens, I think I would probably wait for the dust to settle and say, okay, whoever comes out on top, let me get that fight. Because Brian's not getting another title shot right off the bat.
No.
So if he beats Yair, if Yair wins, he may get one over Josh.
If Yair looks good against Brian, he could get that shot.
Yeah.
Because he had a good fight against Max.
Yeah, he did.
It was very competitive.
Really good fight.
Yep. how he would
Man,
do
there's
with
just no easy
Volkanovski.
fights for Brian Ortega, man. There's no easy fights for Brian. Brian's a stud too. He's just coming up short on those title shots. It's like, damn, he's so good too. He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man. Overall though, I mean, where does Calvin Kattar go from here though, John?
That's the real issue when you take a look at it. He's right at that top, and if you take a look at all the people in that division, he can beat most of them. It's just that he's got those top guys. Holloway's going to be a problem for him. I think Volkanovski would be a problem for him. And then now, Josh Emmett just beat him. I honestly, he had the Giga Chikadze fight. He looked fantastic in it.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to, look towards, you're almost looking towards saying, okay, are you going to be that guy that stays in the top here, or are we going to start to have to, start to move you down a little bit? I think, right now, that Arnold Allen fight, that would be a good fight for him. That would be a fight that he's getting. If he got the win, it would be against someone that's got a very long win streak. He's done very well in the UFC. Has been a problem for people. But if you're Calvin Kattar, you're proving, hey, I'm still better than all these guys. So
yeah, yeah. I think. I mean, I wouldn't mind watching him fight Korean Zombie because Korean Zombie's going to stand with him. They can get in some exchanges. Zombie's got some power. You're not into it because what? Zombie hasn't looked great lately, or what?
I'm being honest.
Coming off that loss to Volk.
Calvin Kattar's style, in my opinion, is going to give Zombie problems.
But the two of them together are coming off losses.
That's true.
So remember the UFC's pattern is
and that is a UFC pattern for. We got two guys coming off of losses. Let's get one to win. And so it is definitely part of what they do. And look at the loss that Kattar had. It could have been a win. It could have been.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he got. Go ahead.
You know what I don't understand, John, is that why is he not kicking more?
He didn't kick at all, and so it obviously was part of the game plan. I would have to talk to Tyson and find out. Tyson Chartier is his coach and stuff, and find out. Did you guys purposely just say no because of the wrestling of Emmett? Because I look at it this way: Emmett is a good wrestler. But Kattar's not a bad defensive wrestler, and he's not a bad offensive wrestler. He's good, and it's a matter of you're taking away a tool that he's really good with, and you're just going to throw that to the side and say, okay, I'm going to box this guy. Okay, I understand why you're looking at it to say, hey, we don't want to have it to where Emmett gets an easy takedown because then we got to get up off of the bottom. That's going to be tough. But I will tell you, man, so, bringing the kicks, even if you're not going to do, I would say stay away from the mid-level stuff. But if you want to hit that calf down low, if you want to come up towards the head at times when that opening is there and you've got him moving back or something like that, do it.
I find that one of the best kicks to throw, and I think get down to this card, is what Phil Hawes is doing to Duran, is that push kick up the middle.
Yeah.
Because that push kick up to the gut, right up the middle, it's a quick little snap kick. It keeps you guessing, and it's hard for them to catch. Because if they catch it, right, you throw the right hand or the straight jab right after you throw it. So if you feint it and then throw the jab and the combinations, if they drop their hands, you can catch them there. If you throw it for real and they bring their hands down to catch it, you can still throw the combination. So at least touch them for them to let go of the foot.
And it's not easy just to hold the foot.
No, it's not. No. And that push kick for me was money throughout my career. I loved it. I used it. If you guys go back and watch my first fight with Gilbert, that was like the whole fight was that. It was up the middle and the body kicks. Because I was worried he was going to be trying to take me down the whole time because I had trained with him from before. Using those push kicks, using the long jabs, they make a big difference. And I like the low-level calf kick as well because it's quick and it's hard for them to reach down and grab.
Yep.
It's so fast, just snap. And Kattar's got good kicks. I like if you were to try to hide your kicks behind your combinations. So you throw the hands a little bit and then you throw the kick. Or you throw the kick to the head and come back with some combinations with the hands. But I would have to agree with you. Probably it was because of some of the wrestling, but you can't let that distract you from what the goal is. The goal is to keep them guessing. If you know that they're not worried about you taking them down because you're not going to wrestle, then you're only going to box. You're really not using any of your weapons. So you got to try to mix them in at some point somehow. I thought Phil Hawes did a good job, and then Kattar could have used something like that, a page out of that book.
Yeah.
So,
but
overall,
though,
I thought it could.
It was a good fight,
but
competitive.
yeah.
It's tough when you have all those knockouts and everything. Everyone's expecting that fight to be the fireworks. This is the one. These guys were the closest match.
Yeah.
You know, and so to get a big win against a really good guy, that is not an easy thing to do. I thought they both fought their asses off and both performed well.
Go to mybookie.ag, use that promo code Wayne and they'll give you additional spending cash with your first initial deposit.